Central Minnesota Sports Hub. It's the Morning Sports Desk, presented by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and streaming on YouTube.
Powered by Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena, it's the Morning Sports Desk. I'm CJ Baumgartner, joined as always by Corey Tackman. Corey, lots to talk about on the show. The Minnesota Timberwolves made a trade, not for Giannis Antetokounmpo, though. We're going to talk about that deal and why it fits a very specific player type we all can get behind. And got a Parker's Prairie footballer making his college commitment. We got more local sports news and our broadcast schedule tonight, which features the defending state champion Staples-Motley Cardinals facing off against a familiar rival in a new way. All of that, Corey, but first, the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena with a huge opportunity.
Not just huge, big even. Big. This is big. Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena giving away 50,000 FunZone tickets to one lucky FunZone Rewards member and what they're calling the big ticket giveaway. How do you enter? It's easy. If you have a FunZone Rewards account with a registered card, you're already automatically entered. If you're not a FunZone Rewards member yet, scan the QR code on the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade Facebook page. Stop in, see them in person, or if you're watching the Morning Sports Desk on YouTube, you can see the QR code right now. Join by February 28th. That's the end of the month to get your automatic entry. Then don't forget to add your FunZone card to your new account as well. 50,000 FunZone tickets to one lucky FunZone Rewards member. It's the big ticket giveaway from the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena.
Okay, Corey, it's time for a little wrestling. We start things off by talking about our broadcast schedule tonight, and it's a wrestling quad from the Nest. Defending state champions in Class A, Staples-Motley Cardinals hosting the Bemidji Lumberjacks, Blackduck cast Lake-Bena, and the newly minted Pillager Husky wrestling program. It's a 4:45 pregame, 5 o'clock match start from the Nest on 98.5 FM, AM1430 KNSP The Fan, and we'll have coverage on the Hubbard Radio-Wadena YouTube page as well. Kyle Gelsine will be doing the call along with Dan Lawson and getting ready because there's wrestling on the air tomorrow. There is girls individual section wrestling on Friday as well. Not on the broadcast schedule, but it's happening. And of course, section wrestling next week, Corey. We are so close to being in it. You can taste it, huh?
I'm ready. Let's do it. Let's make it happen.
Make it happen. You can listen on The Fan tonight. And, of course, you can find it all on Sports Cow on Facebook. Can I get a moo?
Moo?
Moo. It'll be interesting. First ever wrestling matchup in like 40 years between the Cardinals and the Huskies. Pillager, of course, combined with Brainerd for a period and then Little Falls. And now the Huskies out in their own individual wrestling team. They had somewhere between 35 to 40 kids out for their first year of wrestling, which is a really good sign. So it'll be very fascinating to hear Kyle get to talk with some of the coaches and just get a little insight on how that first season has been going for the Huskies. And of course, Corey, the Staples-Motley Cardinals are on a warpath.
Yeah, no, they're pretty good.
They're pretty good, I would say. All right, Sports Cow on Facebook's where you need to go for more information as well. Corey, Sports Cow is also where you need to go to find some more information on just some local sports happenings. Like in Parker's Prairie, we have some news from Zak Koep, who made his commitment to play football next year for Minnesota State University Moorhead. It was National Signing Day yesterday, and he's going to be a Dragon.
Yeah, he's a big fella, too. I saw him basketball the other night. Big boy, big body, uses it well. He's got good hands, good feet, all the stuff that you would want when you're putting together a lineman at the college football level. Congratulations to Zach. That's very exciting.
Very exciting. He is going to play offensive line, played both offensive and defensive line in high school, and he will be an offensive lineman for the Dragons next year. And when we did those season previews, Corey, I got the opportunity to talk with Zach a little bit and talk about some of the things. And like you said, big dude, I think 6'8" or some insane number like that. He's very, very tall. And, I was just talking about his season, the favorite things he liked to do. And I can't remember what he said specifically, but he didn't I was like, what's one of your favorite things to do out there? on the football field, and maybe he said like lighten somebody up or something or another. And then I asked one of his other offensive linemen whose name escapes me, and they both didn't say offensive line. And I remember talking with head coach Mike Johnson, and he was like, how'd they do? I was like, good. He's like, did they mention much about offensive line? I was like, yeah, a little, but not really. And he turned to both of them. He's like, guys, I picked you so we can talk about offensive line. It was a very funny moment. It was very lighthearted when he said that, but it was fun. So I was interested to see if he was going to be offensive or defensive line. He will be in the trenches blocking for the Dragons, who had a pretty good offensive year. One thing, and maybe this changes on quarterback, Zach, but I really hope you love pass blocking, because they ran the ball maybe 5 times all year. They passed the ball. They were spread no huddle, and they would have 600 total yards of offense and 595 passing yards. So
yeah. No, man, it's the NSIC, as we all know, is no joke, and it's going to be awesome. It's very exciting.
MSUM Dragon football, obviously, Dirk Schultz, who does some does some color for my play-by-play during Wadena Deer Creek football, is a MSUM alum, and he was a lineman. And of course, he's just beside himself with the way that they play now, because they barely run the football. So offensive linemen love to run block, you know? Turns out it's a lot easier to block when you're on the attack versus having to have them come at you, you know?
Well, and if you're a killer, I was an offensive lineman. I preferred pass blocking because I sucked. I can get in somebody's way. I'm never going to be able to push anybody out of the way.
I'm pulling and getting ready to light up a linebacker.
I'm guessing if you're Dirk or if you're Zach, it is fun to mush people.
Mm-hmm. Pancake is what they call it. Breakfast, right, boys. We're getting some pancakes.
There you go, Zach.
Other moves across, speaking of alumni from the Park Region Conference and its member schools, Kolby Kiser made the announcement that he is going to be back with the Fargo-Moorhead RedHawks for the 2026 season. It's a move we thought was coming down the road. Of course, Jake Dykoff made his announcement a couple weeks ago, and now Kolby has made his decision. He made 19 appearances last year for Fargo-Moorhead, had an ERA of 4.07, and again was one of their more better pitchers along with Dykoff. That Park Region Conference baseball standing out.
Yeah, really cool and exciting last couple weeks for the Kiser family too, because remember Parker just signed with Alec Tech was a week or two or so ago to play some baseball. So, you know, Kolby's been bouncing around. He's been playing some, I guess I'll call it overseas. I can't remember exactly where he went in kind of this off season to pitch, but coming back to Fargo-Moorhead and play for the RedHawks. Exciting to have him back in the region, and it is officially on my bucket list now this summer to go see Kolby and Jake pitch for them. It's a shame and a little bit of a sin I haven't done that yet, so we're going to make that happen this summer.
Corey's going to get a blank jersey, and he's going to run onto the field with a Sharpie and be like, I called your games in high school. Sign my jersey.
I have reached out multiple times to multiple people about trying to get a signed Kiser and Dykoff jersey. And I think I'm inching ever closer to making that happen. But I would love for that to happen.
Let's make it happen. Somebody who's not me and has the power to make it happen, you know? Okay. Please. Sports Cow is the place to go for all of the instant updates when we find out this information. So go follow it on Facebook. Corey.
Moo.
All right. Minnesota Timberwolves trade talk as we continue the show. Giannis Watch 2026 is over. You kind of felt like it was over last night when the Golden State Warriors made a trade for Kristaps Porzingis. So now that Tingus Pingus has entered the Bay Area, it kind of made a sign that the Golden State was moving off of the Giannis Antetokounmpo trade wins, and now they were shifting more towards other names on the market, and it kind of feels like that signaled that Giannis wasn't going to go anywhere. And the Minnesota Timberwolves this morning did make a trade with the Chicago Bulls for Ayo Dosunmu. I'm going to need to get better at that one, but he has made the trade. Basically, here's the thing. It's a trade for him. You had to give up Rob Dillingham and Leonard Miller and 4 second-round picks, which sounds like a lot, but what exactly are the Minnesota Timberwolves getting? Basically, if everything goes right, you get a better version of the Nickeil Alexander-Walker role you had on your bench.
Yeah, it's a guy who can dribble, a guy who can defend. If you can get him to knock down an open bucket or two every once in a while. The general consensus on this is the Timberwolves are a better roster now than they were 24 hours ago.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that the point for a team that considers themselves in contention?
Yep.
That's the point. Is it now? Is it closes at noon, correct? Is it noon Eastern or noon?
I think it's like 2:00 Central.
Oh, it is 2 Central. So it's new. That means it's noon Pacific time.
Yeah, it's 2:00.
Noon Central time is when it closes. Okay.
It feels like the Timberwolves are done, right?
Well, that was the thing I was gonna. It
feels like this is the move.
It's the thing that impacted what I was gonna say, because if it's noon Eastern time, as we're doing this, we've got 13 minutes, but it's not noon Eastern time; it's noon Western time. Mm-hmm. So we've got 3 more hours. I don't think the NBA is done, and if the Timberwolves have something else, it'll either be like magnificent, you know what I mean? Like the only thing that's left now is something marquee that's going to take the full allotment of time, or it's just going to be like, hey, we got Conley back.
Right. Exactly. And by the way, that's very much in the wind. So Mike Conley got traded. He got bought. He got then, after being traded to the Bulls, got traded to the Hornets, which is, I think, the Andrew Bogut rule or something like that, where they call it, where you can't just get traded away, bought out, and come back. So now that he's been traded a second time, he is eligible to come back, and there is mutual interest, which, by the way, saves the Wolves like $20 million in terms of luxury tax payments if he would just come back on the vet minimum. There is some potential to that. I don't know if that, whatever. It's not necessarily going to move the needle, but it would just be kind of funny. Part of me wants to happen just because it'd be funny. But I think the Wolves trade deadline stuff is over, but I don't think they're done making moves. I think you could see the Wolves maybe target the buyout market, right? And see if there's a guy, Lonzo Ball has hit the market. Do you maybe go after a guy like him, or do you maybe go after somebody who can handle a point guard role again? Like, there are some potential moves you could look at in the buyout. Obviously we'll have a better comprehensive picture when the trade deadline is over, but I feel like in terms of making trades, the Wolves are done.
Yeah, probably true. Sorry, it's funny to watch the NBA trade discourse that exists online, because it is purely information. It's purely informational or aggregating, right, from the accounts that just aggregate, and jokes. And some of the jokes that exist in the about this, like I don't feel comfortable repeating this joke, so I will tell you afterwards. But yeah, I think generally speaking, they're done. Now, I do have a question about this trade with the Bulls, CJ, that maybe you can explain to me. I'm going to need your full knowledge on. Okay. There's this term called bird rights that has existed around everybody say Ayo around his deal. What the hell are bird rights?
I don't know, man.
Okay,
let's use the Google machine.
No, I'd rather not know. We don't need to guess or pontificate or what. Like, I don't need.
I was wondering if they were called Larry Bird rights, like for Larry Bird, or if they just called it bird rights for some reason. No, it is in fact named after Larry Bird.
Well, isn't it? It's probably like Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where he's very familiar with bird law.
Bird law, exactly, and Bayman.
No one I know knows what bird rights are, and honest to goodness, I don't know if I exactly care. It
allows teams to exceed the salary cap to re-sign their own free agents. So it's a way to essentially let teams keep their players and prevent them from just going to LA.
Can we just say that then instead of giving it a bird law?
Right. And if we're going to call it bird rights, capitalize the B. So I know you're talking about Larry Bird, and it's not just like, oh, baby bird flew the nest.
Yeah, it's stupid. Anyway, welcome to Minnesota, buddy. However you say your name. I don't know who anybody is anymore. When I was like, who the hell is this? Who is this guy, and how do you say his name? And then immediately to social media, and everybody's like, dude, this is a great move for the Wolves.
Right, exactly. It's whatever. I'll be honest, I'm not watching a ton of Chicago Bulls games. I don't even know if Bulls fans are interested in watching their own games right now.
Well, they're not anymore, that's for damn sure.
What are you talking about? They got Rob Dillingham. And according to a certain subsect of Wolves Twitter, Rob Dillingham is a Hall of Fame player that was done dirty by that darn Chris Finch.
I wish him nothing but the best.
It's not Rob Dillingham's fault, by the way, that the Wolves reached on him or just drafted him. And
also, CJ, he's going to go to a team made of hot dog water.
Right.
Probably going to score 15 a game for them.
Mm-hmm. And he'll have a couple splash plays, and you'll see it aggregated, and Wolves fans will go, oh!
Yeah, but that's because no one else. It's him and who? Giddey?
Somebody's got to score points for that team.
Those two guys better combine for 50 points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Chicago is beginning to tear it all down. So Leonard Miller is a flyer player. I mean, Leonard Miller is a taller defender, plays kind of that 4. And that's just something the Wolves have so much depth at. Right? They don't need him. They have Beringer. They have Rocco Zariski. He's just kind of in this weird spot. So, whatever. Let him go play somewhere. He'll go get minutes in Chicago, and maybe he'll grow into a nice NBA player. But he didn't really have a clear future with the Wolves. Neither did Rob Dillingham. And 4 second-round picks is a lot, but that's like giving a team 4 seventh-round picks. How many times do second-round picks work out?
I just don't.
You aren't going to land Giannis by trading 4 second-round picks away. That because people are like, oh, there goes our capital. 4 second-round picks wasn't moving for Giannis. If it did, they would have had Giannis,
Correct.
And the other thing is why I think they're done, Corey, because if you do want to land Giannis in the summer, and maybe the Wolves are done, maybe this was if we don't do it now, we'll never do it. But it feels like if they are going to pursue it in the summer, why extend yourself? Make a move I don't want to say half measure because it's a half measure compared to getting Giannis, but make a move that outside of being involved in the Giannis rumors, you go, Wolves got a 3-and-D player off the bench. They've been missing a Nickeil Alexander-Walker-like player, and now they got one. Nice move. There's a lot of people that are frustrated about it now because we all got aggregated and now got really excited into the hope of Giannis. But at the end of the day, the Wolves made a very nice measure to shore up an area of need in their team. Go check out the buyout market, give Bones Highland the point guard, and see what can happen. Keep in mind, Corey, this same team beat a nice Toronto Raptors team last night and is only like a game away from being the 3 seed in the NBA. In the Western Conference.
Yeah, I had someone mention to me, this is really frustrating to watch the Timberwolves right now because every win matters so much in a playoff race. And it was in a text message, and I just didn't have enough time to type out the entire response, which is, we've talked about this before. It doesn't. If you can lose 3 straight and drop to a 6 seed and win 3 straight and move to in contention for a 2 seed, not every win matters.
Right.
It does
matter, but you can't after one loss be like, oh my gosh, everything's over. We fell to the 6th spot. We're going to be a play-in team when you have 20 games left.
Of course we want and every time I make arguments like that, people are like, well, don't you want them to win? Don't you need them to? I need them to play good basketball.
I want them to win every night. Of course I do. But when they lose 3 in a row, I'm not going to pretend that they're not doing anything. Because remember how bad the vibes were going into the playoffs last year? Remember how bad the vibes were going into the playoffs 2 years ago? They made the Western Conference Finals both those times.
I just think that maybe I'm not taking the argument on face value, and that's unfair of me. But they just continue to win 3 out of 5.
Right.
Win 3 out of 5 games. It's going to be okay.
Currently, the Wolves are a 5 seed at 32-20. There is 30 games to go in the season. They are 8 games back of the Oklahoma City Thunder. They are 3 games back of the San Antonio Spurs for the 2. And, of course, Denver, Houston are in the middle of that. The Wolves are only a game back of 3 and a half game back of 4.
Yep.
They play again tomorrow against the woeful Pelicans, and then they play the Clippers on Sunday, and then the Hawks on Monday.
We are getting to the time of year where I need you to take unserious teams seriously.
Mm-hmm.
That
has been a problem, as we've learned by their loss to Memphis.
We're starting to stretch into that a little bit, but we haven't made it to the All-Star game yet either.
Right. So Morning Sports Desk, powered by Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. See ya.
Powered by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Follow the Morning Sports Desk on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And watch every show on YouTube.